Hey everyone, Donovan Brown here. You may have noticed in my other videos, I use .NET New Web API, and the first thing I have to do is clean up the project. I delete the files I don't need, and I rename and modify the files I want to keep. Then I thought, there must be a way to define my own template so I can skip the cleanup. Well, there is. In this video, I'm going to show you how. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. No, let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. Oh, perfect. Funny enough, the first thing I must do is create a Web API project and clean it up. In a folder named template, I run .NET New Web API to create a sample project. Then, as always, I'm going to clean up the sample code. I will not need the weather forecast file, so I remove it. I'm also going to rename the default controller file to Clean Web API Controller. Now I update the controller's name, and I remove code from lines 14 to 17. Finally, I replace the get method and add a post method. In the get method, I log that it was called and return hello world. In the post method, I log the body that was posted. The log messages will be visible when the code is run. With the project updated, I execute it to make sure that it compiles and runs. Next, I create an HTTP file using the REST client extension for Visual Studio Code to send requests to test the methods. I test the get method first with a request to localhost on port 5000 to the clean web API route. Sending the request returns a status code of 200, the value hello world, and the terminal shows the logged message. Now I test the post method with a JSON body. Sending this request also returns a status code of 200, and the terminal shows the logged message of the JSON body. With the code tested, I stop it and delete the bin and obj folders so they are not included in the template. To turn these files into a template, I add a .template.config folder and place a template.json file inside. First, I add a schema to the file, which will enable Visual Studio Code to offer IntelliSense while editing. With the schema in place, pressing Ctrl space lists all the properties that can be added to this file. I begin with author and enter my Twitter handle. Then I add classifications, which are characteristics that a user can use to search templates. The classifications also appear in the tags column when the available templates are listed using the .NET New command. Next, I add a unique name for the template in the identity property. The name property is the value the user sees when the available templates are listed. The short name is used from the command line and is what we type after .NET New. Setting the preferred name directory to true will create a directory instead of creating the content directly in the current folder. The source name will be replaced throughout the template with the name provided by the user. This will be replaced in files and file names. I show this in action when I test the template. Take note of the casing of this value and make sure it matches or it will not be replaced. Finally, I use the tags property to set the language and type. With the template.json file complete, I can now install and use this template. To install, I use the .NET New command with the -i option pointing to the current folder. The output of this command lists all available templates, including the new clean ASP.NET Core Web API template. With the template installed, I create a new project using the clean Web API template. Listing the contents of the new test folder show the test.cs proj file was created using the name passed in. Finally, the contents of the program.cs file show the namespace was updated to test as well. Listing the controller directory shows the controller file name as testcontroller.cs. Finally, opening that file shows the namespace and class name were also created using the name provided with the -n option. To make sure everything works as expected, I run the newly created project and test the get and post methods. With the code running, I return to my HTTP file and I update the URLs to point to test, the name of my new project. Sending the GET request returns with a status code of 200, the value hello world, and the terminal shows the logged message. Now I test the post method with a JSON body. Sending this request also returns with a status code of 200, and the terminal shows the logged message from the JSON body. Creating a custom template is easy and can save you time when using .NET New. Good morning, everyone. No, let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. Oh, perfect.